Hi, I'm Marie and welcome to my wildlife garden in April. So we only have a tiny little garden. I live in the middle of a big housing estate, but if you've seen some of my videos before, you'll know that we turned our garden into a wildlife garden about a year ago, and we've been having absolutely loads of wildlife. So it just goes to show it doesn't matter where you are, and it doesn't matter how small your space is, you can still make a home for wildlife. So spring is my favourite time in the garden. I think that's probably true of most people who have a garden. It's when it really comes back to life. There's lots and lots of flowers, and just in front of you here, we have our apple tree. Now, we've had our garden for about 7 years, but as I say, we only turned it into a wildlife garden about a year ago. But this apple tree is about 6 years old. It's a dwarf variety, so it won't get very big. It's about as tall as I am. And every year it gives us more and more apples. So we're really looking forward to the crop this year. Kitty is, I don't know if you can see him in the shadows, is out on the tour with me today. Mr. Shnuffles. He loves the garden, and he particularly loves the area under the tree. We don't have too much room for like a huge meadow area, but what we do every year is we mow most of the lawn, but not the area around the apple tree. We just gave it its first mow in April, and then what we do is we leave it till the end of summer when the grass dies off. The grass will grow nice and tall. I might put in a little clip of what it looked like last summer. And you get lots and lots of wildflowers, which either naturally come in or sometimes we plant some. The little blue flowers that you can see are forget-me-nots, I do believe. We've got a few bluebells just around the edge of the border, which is a first for us. Hi, kitty. We also have our lavender, absolutely loads of it, and that is just about to start flowering. So really looking forward to that. Just coming up to here, we have a jasmine bush. I mean, this is not native to the UK, but as I say, we had our garden for a long time before we decided to make it wildlife garden. So we do have some flowers that aren't native, but this is where our robin lived in the winter. So that provided a lovely home for him. Just on the left, you've got our insect hotel, which we just got out of the shed. I meant to actually get it out in March, but I forgot. So we'll see if any maybe solitary bees will use it to lay eggs, because this is the type of place that they're looking for at this time of year. Now, coming down here, we've got, sorry about my shadow, our little pond in a bucket. So our pond in a bucket is almost a year old now. Around the outside, we've got lots of logs, and these provide a nice sort of shady, damp habitat for amphibians who are leaving ponds at this time of year. About this time of year last year, or perhaps a little bit later, we did have both frogs and toads in the garden. So I was hoping for perhaps some frog spawn in the pond this year, but we haven't had any. Never mind, but we're hoping perhaps in future years we will have some. But we do have lots of pond snails. Coming back over to the end of the garden, we have our honeysuckle. Now this is crazy. We need to tie it up a bit more. It's really come to life this year. In previous years, it struggled and we weren't sure whether it was going to make it, but you can see it's really, really come into its own. The bees are absolutely loving it, along with the apple tree. Coming over to the shady bit of the garden at this time of day, we've got our compost heaps. Compost heaps should be safe now for you to fork through. Hibernating animals should have left, but occasionally you may still have an animal or two remaining. So be careful and just make sure to sort of sift through and check before you start forking through your compost heaps. Here is our strawberry patch, which again has recovered really well. We tend to find that at the end of the summer, it dies back and we're always a bit worried. It always looks a bit sad and we're always a bit worried, but then it always comes back to life, and it looks like we're going to get a bumper crop of strawberries again this year. This is where we found lots of baby frogs last year. So I have been checking, and hopefully in the next month or so, we might see some more frogs again this year. Here is our rosemary, which is really big. And a big hit with bees. It's one of the first flowers to come out in our garden. And just down here is our hedgehog house. Now, we just put this in last year. We haven't had any visitors yet, but I'm hopeful perhaps in years to come we will have some. If you do have hedgehogs in your garden, or you think you might do, now is a great time to be feeding them, fattening them up for their breeding season in May. Hi, so it was a little bit windy outside, so I've come inside to talk about the new feeding guidelines that came out from the RSPB this month. The guidelines are an urgent change to the way that we feed wild birds to protect them from a new disease which is circulating. But what I'll do is I will link the video above and below, and I've also posted a link to the video as well on my channel, so that you can go to that official RSPB video and watch it for yourself and get all of the details. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.